Welcome back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, every Tuesday I bring in my good friend Charles Alvarez, plus someone who I work with extensively when it comes to my own personal business. Charles Alvarez is an extraordinary sales and marketing coach, having a profound impact on my business. And as a result, I've asked him to come on the program each week to kind of talk about not only what's going on in his field, but also some of the businesses that he likes, businesses that he's keeping an eye on. Before you introduce your guest, though, Charles, kind of give us the elevator speech, if you will, for your firm.
Well, good morning, Kevin, first of all, and thank you for the kudos. What our company does is we work with business owners to implement sales, marketing, productivity techniques that are designed to double their business in 12 months or less. And we're one of the few advisory companies out there that also offer a money-back guarantee, which means if you're not getting value out of the services we're offering, we simply give you your money back.
Yep, absolutely. And I warned you when I began working with you that I have no problem asking for money back if it didn't work. But unfortunately for me, it's working, which is, of course, very fortunate. So, you know, life's full of trade-offs. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our guests? I'm
so excited to use somebody that I actually personally use for my own house, because we have a son who's allergic to ants and he couldn't play in our backyard. And I'm delighted to have Jay Jorns, owner of JNJ Pest Control, because of him, my son can actually enjoy our backyard. So I'm really excited to have you on, Jay.
Well, thank you, Charles. And Kevin, I love talking about bugs. There's just nothing more enjoyable to me. So I appreciate the opportunity to give you an idea of how our model of our company is.
Yeah, very good. Welcome to the program. Could you tell us about your company? Give us a little bit of the history and what makes you unique.
All right. Well, we started in 1979. We were a little mom and pop shop. We pretty much specialize in the Katy Independent School District as far as our range of control. I've got 2 trucks that I run out there with 3 technicians. One's been with me for 21 years, and the other 2 have been with me for 9 years. So they're highly qualified, and we have workers' comp. It's a strange thing in our cottage industry. You don't see that often.
Oh, that's good. Very good. Charles?
So with a lot of people these days, Jay, worried about, okay, you know, I don't want to put chemicals in my yard. You know, I've heard a lot of things about the EPA, about, you know, pest control. Tell us what about that fear is accurate and what is inaccurate about that concern?
Well, first of all, the environmentalists that a lot of people want to blame it on, I'm glad they're around because it's made our industry so much more safe. For my technicians as well as for the customer, of course. But, of course, my technicians are coming in contact with these pesticides on a regular basis, and I want it to be safe for them as well, since I want them to return the next day. So that is the chemicals they have now. The manufacturers have done their best to make them as environmentally safe as possible. And what we have done with ours is there's certain ones that are even above and beyond, like our termite program. It is only once been approved by the EPA as a green program for termite control. Our fire, as far as fire ants, that's reasonable. And then as far as tree injections, that's a new technology that's out there. So the new technologies are what we're really looking at.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. So tell me about your business in the current economy. You know, a lot of small businesses like yours have been taking a pounding since 2008. How are you holding up?
Thank you for asking, Kevin, because I'm real proud of that. Last year, our sales were up 20%. It was mainly because of the drought of 2011.
Because the pests aren't unemployed anyway, right?
That is correct.
They still work.
They're still out there. And what we found, since we were licensed in trees and ornamentals, we lost a number of pine trees in 2011 due to the drought and the pine bark beetles.
It was devastating.
It was. And so, fortunately, we were able to tell people, let's do something to improve on the water content of our trees. So that's one of the best things that we did.
Okay.
Very good. Charles?
Yeah. Tell us about what makes J&J different from the other pest controls. And, you know, like, for example, I know that you have some licenses that not a lot of people have in the state of Texas, much less the industry itself. So tell me about those licenses, what makes you different and why that's important to the customer.
Right. Charles, we have a number of different licenses. In the state of Texas, the Department of Agriculture regulates our industry, and I'm glad they do, and they do a good job of it. There's licenses for general pest control. That's roaches, spiders, silverfish, earwigs. We have also for lawns and ornamentals. That's your trees, the shrubs, palm trees, termites, and then also weed control. So few people have all the licenses that our company carries, and so consequently, it's a one-stop shop. If we're there to look at roaches, we'll say, hey, there's some insects on your shrubs that maybe we ought to take care of. Yeah. So that's one of the best things that we feel we can offer that a lot of them don't. I am an entomologist, so if there is an insect problem, I can research it, and I have the microscopes and the knowledge to check it out to really be certain which is the best approach for this specific insect.
JNJ Pest Control, what I mention is J and the letter N, J, pestcontrol.com, jnjpestcontrol.com. I'm always curious because, whenever the economy goes south, you have 23 million unemployed, although Houston's done much better than other parts of the country. People will try to knee-jerkly go into what they consider low overhead businesses just to trying to make a living. And I understand that, but you'll have people who never really did pest control, may not have any credentials, going out there calling themselves pest control guys. Is that a problem?
It is. Probably more so in the landscape area, doing the lawn and ornamental. A lot of people are spraying for roaches, but if they're caught in Texas, we have, and in Harris County, we have 4 inspectors. So if you're caught out there, there's some pretty sufficient fines to get after the people. I don't run into too many people doing termite work or roaches, except for maybe an Uncle George doing it for a relative.
Yeah.
But where I see it the most and where I think it's a danger is in the landscape area. People are putting out weed and feed, for example. That is a herbicide. Well, you must have a license in the state of Texas to put out a herbicide. Many are not, and so consequently they're not familiar with it. They're not educated in it, and they sometimes misapply.
You can buy that at Walmart.
Yeah, you can. Now, a homeowner can do it, but they better read the label.
They better read the label.
There are a lot of things on there.
I can't read. Dang it. Okay, so I was just curious about that. But you have to have license and they have to be updated licenses.
That is correct,
well.
and continual education is mandated by the state of Texas. Plus, a real important insurance policy for pest control operators, and that is what's called a care, custody, and control. Most people have these liability insurance that they go in, and if something happens out of their care, custody, and control, their insurance company is not responsible. For the pest control industry, we have to be responsible. So if something happens to a neighbor that we're treating somebody else's yard, our insurance is taking care of them.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.
You bet. All right. Charles Alvarez, how do we get more information about you, your website?
You can go to my website at www.cornerstonebusinessacademy.com.
Great show, great segment. Glad to have you gentlemen with me here today, particularly here as we wrap up today's program. Do want to remind you about our sister news website, usdailyreview.com. While you're there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. Have a great rest of your day, but spend it wisely right here on this great station.